You have to be aware of what you are consuming because that will manifest. Hey, I'm Dan. I talk about conscious creation, manifestation, living intentionally, all that good stuff. Thank you for joining me. And today I really want to talk about what you are consuming and be aware and pay attention to what you're listening, what you're watching, who you're surrounding yourself with, all of that stuff. Anything you're consuming, anything you're taking in with your five senses, what you're watching through what you're hearing, what you're listening, what you're feeling, it all creates a particular identity and influences you. And as we know, with manifestation, we become an identity and we live as that identity, and that is what is going to happen in our 3D reality. Our 3D reality is going to change and conform and shift into the version that aligns with who we are. Okay? So what you are consuming, think about it. Take a step back and think about, what am I spending the majority of my day doing? What am I listening to on my way to work, right? What podcast do I have going on? What type of music am I listening to? When I go home at the end of the day, what am I turning on the TV? What type of shows am I watching, right? How does it make me feel? Am I watching news? Does the news make me feel good, or does that rattle me up? Does that make me feel annoyed and irritated with the world, right? Be very careful of what you are actually consuming. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are the people around you saying? What are their opinions? Are you engaging with them? Are you talking to them and diving deep into politics and religion and things that just make you feel good and make you feel bad and dragging you down? Or are you doing the opposite? Are you engaging in things and consuming things that make you feel good, right? That make you happy, that make you feel joyous and elated and living the life that you wish to live? Be very careful of be very cautious with what you're consuming, because that is going to influence your identity. And as we know, your identity is what manifests. You're always manifesting yourself. So take an inventory of what you are consuming. I used to watch and listen to the news a lot more. I don't even pay attention to the majority of the news anymore. I am on social media because I do need it for my business, and I do like to stay connected to friends and people. But literally, if I see something that I don't like, I scroll past it. It's like an algorithm. Remember, when we are manifesting, this reality is like an algorithm. It will continually give you more of what you are telling it you want, where you focus your awareness and focus and attention on. It's going to literally give you more and more and more of that. So that's why you have to be so careful with what you're consuming. Now, you might be a person that says, hey, you know what? I'm really good with this. I can watch whatever I want to watch. It doesn't matter. I'm not affected by it. If you are super conscious of it and you have the ability to stay so indifferent and grounded, wonderful, great. Do whatever you want. I'm never going to tell someone what to do. But for the majority of people, it's very easy to get influenced if you are not conscious of it. So I rather not put myself in a position where I'm consuming all of this, and then just by habit, because we're all human beings, right? We naturally just, what is new, what we're normally conscious of, we naturally just get into a state that we consume and we don't even think about what we're consuming. And sometimes I still fall down that rabbit hole as well, right? I'm not perfect at it. No one's ever perfect at this. But the important critical thing is that I have, by and large, let go of anything that doesn't really serve me, anything that I really don't care for or want in my life. It's not even about ignoring it. It's more about I don't even give it any energy or attention, right? So if I'm scrolling on social media, I only look at things that make me feel good, that make me laugh, that make me feel happy, that I want to see reflected in my own reality, that I want to experience life through. I don't pay attention to the news. I don't watch the news anymore, because the majority of news really is negative. And why is it negative? It's because they want to catch attention. They want eyeballs on it. The more eyeballs on the news, the more attention they can grab, the more money they can make from advertising revenue. At the end of the day, that's what it is. That's why you see shocking headlines that oftentimes have nothing to do with the story whatsoever, right? Or a newspaper, whatever you consume, it doesn't matter. So it's not just about what you watch, but it's also what you hear and what you listen, right? What podcasts are you listening to? What type of music are you listening to? This is a big one. People love listening to music. I love music. I like to get up and dance, and that's wonderful and amazing. But what are those lyrics saying? Essentially, music is a form of, I wouldn't say subliminals because you can typically hear the lyrics, but it's a form of that type of messaging seeping into your subconscious. The more and more type of music that you listen to, the more you're going to notice the type of music that you listen to, often it reflects who you are as a person. Happy people like to listen to happy things. Angry people like to listen to the angry things. Heavy metal, I'm not saying don't listen to heavy metal. I'm just saying there is, a correlation between that. It's very fascinating. But it also makes sense, right? Because whatever we're consuming, even when we're listening to music is a great way to just kind of bypass our conscious and go right into the subconscious. And we know how powerful that is, right? When that happens, right, music also elates a particular feeling and emotion. It's very easy to do that because it can bypass the conscious mind. And so it's very powerful. But again, it's a double-edged sword. You can use it for good as well. You can listen to great music to feel good and feel high vibe, right? Because that's what we want to feel more of. That's what we want to manifest more of. So you can use it in that way as well. But the most important part of this, in terms of consumption, is not just what you're watching and reading and listening to. It is who you are surrounding yourself with. The people you surround yourself with is consumption. If you are engaging in conversation with them and you're not feeling great about the topics you're talking about or discussing, you don't need to engage with them. I'm not saying ignore them. I'm just saying, hey, look, that's wonderful. Like maybe say a couple words just to be like acknowledging what they've said, but don't actually engage or take it. Because when you start engaging, you can spiral, especially with people when you're talking about conversations, especially when you're talking about topics that are very controversial, like politics and religion, right? So I avoid the majority of those type of topics. I don't get into them. I have my own personal views, of course, right? But I don't even allow myself the opportunity to engage because that oftentimes could lead into a spiral. And you never want to be dragged into that other person's energy because you don't know where they're going to go with a particular topic. And if they're a negative person and they start sucking all the energy out of the room and they're spiraling, you don't want to be caught in that. Because that will affect you. That will affect how you feel. That will affect how you think. That will affect your identity. So you just have to be cautious and you have to be aware of what you're consuming around you. And people and conversations and engagement with other people is a huge part of that. In this last section that I'm talking about consumption, I really want to focus on one thing though. You can use it to your advantage. I've already mentioned it before. You can listen to great music. You can listen and watch shows that make you feel happy and elated. You can watch interviews with influential people that are successful, that can be inspirational, that are motivational, that are living the life that you wish to live. Consume that. Hang out with people that have the lifestyle that you want to have. Go to a coffee shop in a nice fancy hotel instead of, I'm not hating on Starbucks or any particular coffee shop in particular, but like a regular chain, coffee shop that's just at the corner versus a nice fancy hotel. It doesn't matter. You could be paying a couple more dollars, a little bit more for your coffee. But when you are surrounding yourself in that environment of success and wealth, let's take, for example, you want that success, wealth, and comfort. And that's what you're trying to manifest. That's part of the life you're trying to manifest. Let's assume that as for this example. Go buy a coffee and go to a coffee lobby, hotel lobby. I just saw this on social media the other day. It's a great way to consume that environment, absorb it in, because when you are in that, you're surrounded by wealth, you're surrounded by success, right? Consume that. It's as simple as that. Moving yourself into an environment where there is wonderful abundance around you, and you can do that. Right? It's just a choice that you can make, that you have to make. So you can use this consumption for good as well, to help you to manifest what you want. Right? Like I said, double-edged sword. Now, most of us in the world focus on the negative because the majority of the world is negative. Yes, I know we assign meaning to things, but the majority of the world assigns negative meanings to certain things that don't make them feel good. And then they don't feel good, and they spiral, and they don't feel good as well, and it's reflected in the 3D reality. We can flip the switch, right? And let's say right now, I would like to manifest a world where the majority of people are living in abundance and love and light. And guess what? I'm going to surround myself with people that are like that. I'm going to engage with people in conversations that make me feel good, that make them feel good, that make me inspired, that make them inspired. right? That raises our level up all around the world. That's what I've chosen to do. That's why I'm here. And this is why I'm doing this work and sharing this information out there, because I feel like the more people that knows this, understands this information, the more that the majority of people out there in the world is going to be able to live just a more fulfilling, abundant, and wonderful life. And that's just going to make the world a better place for everyone, right? And the more things outside that we can consume that are positive and great and wonderful, the better the 3D reality is going to shift and change and conform to bring us the life that we wish to live. Because we all want to live a life of happiness, of joy, of fun, of fulfillment. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to leave it there. Be aware of what you're consuming, because it's important. What you're listening to, what you're watching, the people you surround yourself with, and how you're engaging with them. It's all important. And you have the power and choice to choose to be on the happy, the positive, the love side of your consumption, and not the negativity. Okay, so I will leave it there here. If you have any sort of questions or topics you want me to talk about in terms of manifestation, how it relates to you, leave them in the comments below. Sometimes if I have a little bit of extra time, I'm able to go through the comments and actually answer each one, especially right now. I'm still growing. My channel is still steadily growing bigger and bigger. So right now, when I do have a little bit more time, I'm able to engage in the comments below. I can't promise that this will always be the case. So right now it's kind of, a resource for you to have access to me to be able to help you, manifest and really live the life of your dreams that you want. So definitely take advantage of that. There's already a few people that have been asking questions. It's wonderful. I'm able to help them with it. So if that interests you, definitely leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all soon. All right.